don't come to America right now. I mean, all the obvious reasons why, but this is not safe for you.
We've all been hearing how the economy is crashing. And yeah, I knew it, but, you know, I get up, I go to work, I do my thing. But I traveled to a conference last night, and I gotta tell you, it was an eye-opening experience in the airports. You think about big airports like Chicago or Grand Rapids, Michigan, they're usually just buzzing. And so I want to show you what I saw on my trip. And mind you, it wasn't an overnight thing. It was during the day, during the evening. It should have been a very busy time. Watch this. I have never seen the Chicago airport this empty before. And now here's Grand Rapids Airport. There are a few people meandering around, but it's pretty empty too.
When Donald Trump took office, now most of his supporters celebrated that he was going to make America first. Now, this agenda is whatever is affecting America right now. Now, this agenda was to focus on border control, trade restrictions, and reduced global partnerships. However, these are some of the policies that are hurting America and the American economy. Some of the airports, or most of the airports, are not seeing people travel with them. They are empty. And you might be asking yourself, why are the US airports empty? Why are so many people concerned about the state of the economy in the US? Let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
I just heard about 2 German young men who flew in to Honolulu Airport who were detained by ICE. They were questioned for hours. They were strip searched, naked, strip searched. They were placed in green jumpsuits, and they were put in a holding cell with criminals. Don't come here. It's not safe. It's not safe for me. I'm born and raised here. It's not safe for me. It's definitely not safe for you. Please, 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 please. Don't come here right now.
America's tourism crisis nobody's talking about. Foreign visitors are abandoning the U.S. in record numbers, and it's costing billions. Oxford Economics predicts an $8.5 billion drop in international visitor spending this year, while the World Travel and Tourism Organization estimates an even more alarming $12.5 billion loss. The proof? Flight bookings to the U.S. between May and July have already plummeted by over 10%. This isn't just a blip, it's a trend with massive economic consequences. While other destinations flourish, America is losing its appeal to global travelers. What's driving this exodus? And can the U.S. tourism industry recover before it's too late?
If you're planning your next holiday, there are a lot of places to choose from, but one that is falling out of fashion is the US. Since Donald Trump took office, America has reported a dramatic drop in the number of international tourists, and it's impacting the country's bottom line. In the usually warm month of June, tourist arrivals remained frosty, falling 6%. It continued a trend that has seen a decline in visitor numbers year on year since the start of 2025.
So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%.
New York, stop talking about how beautiful LaGuardia Airport is, because my cheap ass flies Spirit, and the Spirit terminal is not connected to the new airport. This might as well be connected to the MTA, because as soon as you walk in, there's homeless people sleeping on the floor. Somehow they spend billions of dollars redoing this whole airport, forgetting this side right here, the Marina Air Terminal. While you Delta flyers are flying through beautiful lounges, food halls with restaurants, I'm on the Spirit side, freezing my butt off because the AC's at high, waiting for the Dunkin' Donut Express to open. That's the only option of food on the Spirit side. Look at the Spirit side. We don't even have windows. Now look at the Delta section, the new terminal, the new airport. We're not even connected. Only thing good is the security is so fast because you're in the whole terminal. So stop being on this app. Tell me how good LaGuardia Airport is. Because
I'm not complaining. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm in the Atlanta airport and it's empty. It's like no one in here. I'm shocked. Apparently this is the busiest airport in the world. I believe that. I've been here 1,000 times. But today, it's not busy at all. There's so much negative space.
Recently, it seems that the United States has been witnessing an unprecedented phenomenon. A sharp decline in international tourism, with many major airports falling into a state of emptiness.
International arrivals to the U.S. are expected to fall about 9% this year. That drop is fueled by negative perceptions about recent changes to immigration policies here in America.
Stunning images of near-empty passenger planes are popping up on social media. These international flights have many tourists flying to the USA practically alone. This flight from Toronto to New York is also practically empty. And a flight from Toronto to Fort Myers, row after row of empty seats.
You're coming in from Montreal?
Yes.
And how was the flight full?
No, it was about 70% full.
Have you noticed amongst your fellow Canadians that they are less interested in coming here?
Yes, many of them.
Tourism to the U.S. is on the decline. The U.S. is set to lose $12.5 billion because of it.
Meanwhile, other aviation hubs such as Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore have recorded remarkable growth, attracting a large number of travelers who once chose the US as their main transit point. This shift, if it continues, may not only be a story about the aviation industry, but also a signal that the balance of global soft power is gradually changing. So why did the world's leading aviation nation lose its grip so fast? Was it tariffs, visa restrictions, a failure to adapt? Watch till the end to find out. Over the span of 3 years, from 2023 to 2025, the United States appears to have experienced a record drop in international visitors, with some airports reportedly losing as much as 60–80% of their traffic. If accurate, these figures could translate into billions of dollars in losses. Some estimates suggest that international tourism revenue alone has fallen by roughly 12.5 billion USD annually. For those who were once familiar with the image of bustling American airports, this reversal may come as an unexpected shock. It doesn't appear to be a short-term fluctuation, but rather a long-term trend, one that many believe has caused the US to gradually lose its status as the world's default gateway. Some analysts point to policies introduced during Donald Trump's presidency as a root cause. The imposition of new tariffs on multiple countries seems to have raised travel costs and created a sense of uncertainty among international visitors. Additionally, complex entry procedures and stricter control measures may have discouraged travelers. The image of the United States, once seen as open and welcoming, now, in the eyes of many outsiders, seems associated with populism, insularity, and an unwelcoming attitude. This perception, at least symbolically, appears to have made the US significantly less attractive to global tourists. As international visitors dwindle, the ripple effects seem to spread throughout the local economic ecosystem. Hotels report lower occupancy rates. Many bars and restaurants that relied on tourists have become noticeably quieter. Taxi and transport services, along with small businesses directly tied to international travel, may also find it difficult to sustain previous income levels. In some cities, municipal budgets could even face shortfalls as tourism-related tax revenues drop sharply. Here is what people have to say about what is happening. This isn't just about vacations. Trump's tariffs left US airports empty, while Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore are booming with travelers. A travel shock that just turned into an economic crisis. Trump's tariffs didn't just hit trade, they're gutting US tourism too. Empty airports are a symbol of how isolation costs real jobs and revenue.
We're back now with a look at the drop in the number of international tourists who are visiting the United States this year.
So a research note from Tourism Economics, which is part of Oxford Economics, says
here in California, international travel is predicted to decline by 9% this year, driven by higher tariffs imposed by the Trump administration and negative sentiment toward the U.S. You're coming in from Montreal?
Yes.
And how was the flight full?
No, it was about 70% full.
Have you noticed amongst your fellow Canadians that they are less interested in coming here?
Yes, many of them.
Compared year over year. Now, the exact reasons we should clarify are unclear, but February was the first date the president signed his first executive action to impose tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China.
Sure. Yes, there is one single reason, but many reasons around that one person, President Donald Trump, the Trump effect, turning visitors off to the U.S. It's political with his populist agenda. It's economic with his tariffs that would raise.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
We treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this, and there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it.
Happy Sunday to you. If you live in an American tourist hotspot, you might not have noticed it yet, but tourism to the U.S. is on the decline.
America's front doors have slammed shut. What used to be the world's busiest crossroads, airports like JFK, LAX, Miami, are now shells of their former selves. Empty halls, silent runways, ticket counters with no lines. From 2023 to 2025, international traffic didn't just slow, it collapsed by 60 to 80%. A superpower's gateways have turned into ghost towns. And the bill? $12.5 billion in lost international tourism this year alone. That's money no longer flowing into hotels, taxis, restaurants, and small businesses that depend on travelers. It's not just airports bleeding, it's Main Street America. Look closer. Travelers who once poured into New York, Los Angeles, Chicago are now landing somewhere else. Toronto, Dubai, Singapore. Global hubs that rolled out the red carpet while America rolled out tariffs and walls. Airlines followed the money. Emirates, Lufthansa, Singapore Airlines, once fixtures in U.S. Skies have shifted their routes to friendlier ground, and with them went millions of passengers. The images are jarring. Entire terminals half lit. Gates that once launched flights across the Atlantic now sit idle. Luggage carousels stop spinning. For the first time in decades, America is no longer the default gateway to the world. The question is no longer whether this is temporary. The question is, has the crown already been passed? Because airports are not just travel hubs. They are symbols of power, magnets for trade, and lifelines for communities. When they empty out, the shockwaves ripple far beyond aviation. They hit local jobs, city budgets, even America's reputation as the open door of the global economy. So why did the world's leading aviation nation lose its grip so fast? Was it tariffs, visa restrictions, a failure to adapt, or something deeper, an unwillingness to see that in the 21st century, isolation is as costly as war?
They announced Chicago O'Hare Airport, all flights will be canceled. They don't have enough crew for the air traffic controller. We're seeing this in California, Nashville, Chicago. It's spreading fast. It might just become a nightmare to travel for the next couple of weeks, if not longer, as long as the lockdown, or I should say shutdown of the government continues. These people, even though they would get, back pay, don't want to be working working without a paycheck. I wouldn't want to work without a paycheck. If there's a way to make money immediately, and you can do that by not being there at a job that they're telling you you're going to have to wait to get paid, I personally would go do the other job that would pay me right away. But that would be me. I don't know that anybody's situation or what's going on there, if they just don't want to work, or they don't want to wait for back pay, or they have something better going on. Needless to say, traveling is going to get really, really hectic in the next couple of weeks.
Amazing news. Several airports refuse to air Department of Homeland Security video, blaming Democrats for the shutdown. So according to Forbes, at least 5 U.S. airports will not air a politicized video message from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. In the video, she blames the government shutdown on Democrats. But a legal expert tells Forbes the video does not violate the Hatch Act which restricts federal employees from some kinds of partisan messaging, usually during elections. But the 5 airports that are refusing to air the videos are Portland International in Oregon, Seattle Tacoma in Washington, and a trio of airports in New York. Surprised California hasn't jumped in yet, but still, they're basically propaganda videos. Some of the people running the airports say things like, the video is inappropriate, unacceptable, and inconsistent with the values we expect from our nation's top public officials. The Trump administration has been airing the video at airports across the country since Thursday, according to Reuters. So let's hope more airports follow suit and stop spreading propaganda like we're some third world country. And shame on Kristi Noem, Homeland Security, and this entire administration.
So when was anybody going to tell me that the Atlanta International Airport is literally a fashion show? Like, why didn't anybody tell me that I need to come with a beat face and with my best fit on? Because I usually go to a lot of different airports, but for some reason Atlanta is just different. Like, the people there are different. It's different from Miami, it's different from Houston, it's different from Vegas. Like, the people there are just different. Like, I feel like I just really have to put it on when I go there, and I definitely will not make that mistake again.
At the end of this video, I'm going to show you the actual clip that's playing in airports right now. It's just, you just have to see it. So here's what's happening. The government is literally running a political message in U.S. airports. Yeah. While TSA workers are still unpaid because of the shutdown, travelers are standing in lines watching a video that says, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most TSA employees are working without pay. Are you fucking kidding me? The Department of Homeland Security actually approved this video. It's being played in major airports across the country. Taxpayer money, our money, being used to air partisan messages in public places people cannot opt out of. That's not accountability. That's propaganda with a budget. And here's the part that should freak everyone out. If they can do this now, every administration can do it later. Left, right, it does not matter. Because once you normalize political messaging, it never goes away. All right, like I promised, here's the clip. Watch it for yourself.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe. However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government, and because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay. We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize.
I told y'all once, I'm gonna tell y'all again, this government shutdown is very intentional. I will say it's intentional to Bible prophecy needing to be fulfilled. And I said that because last night, nearly 6,000 flights were literally delayed nationwide. And as air traffic controllers, the staffing shortages are growing. And it is spread to major airports. Now they're saying that the Burbank air control tower now has nobody. It 0 people showed up. And let me tell you something. Y'all want people to work for free and life already hard? Who gonna work for free and life already hard? Nobody's going to do that. Quit playing with me. The devil be very doo-doo. I gotta say it that way because the devil be doo-doo. Y'all gonna call this government shutdown and you think people gonna work for free? Let me be in air traffic control. The first day y'all said, government shutdown, I will not be there. I would have told my boss, I'm sorry, I'm telling you now, I'm calling in. I will not be there until they come back because unless I'm getting paid. You think somebody gonna go sit at a stressful job? That job is stressful. They gotta make sure everybody in the air is safe. They gotta wake up early in the morning. They doing all kind of 3 a.m., 4 a.m. And you think somebody go be stressed out and not get paid? This is is a ripple effect. I want y'all to understand what is happening. It is a ripple effect that is going to hit the economy. This was intentional. I need y'all to understand that. They know what they're doing. This is going on day 6, day 7 of them not working in the government now. And now you have the Burbank, 0 people then showed up. They didn't have so many call-ins. Ain't nobody. I would have been the first one, first day. We look at the book of Revelation, the chapter, I believe the chapter is chapter 18. Now, this chapter basically details the future of Babylon. Go with me. It details Babylon the Great and the corruption of the economy. It goes on to talk about the political system that will undergo a sudden and devastating collapse, leading to the mourning of merchants worldwide. Nothing in this country that happens is coincidental. It is not by happenchance. Everything is on a prophetic calendar in the spirit realm. Okay, not naturally, but in the spirit realm. God's word has to be fulfilled in this earth, and it will. Because who working for free? I'm still on that. Who working for free? You gotta spend your gas. Some people work 30 minutes away. You gotta get up in the morning, spend your gas, have your lunch money. Who's doing that? Who's doing that again? In this economy, people pinching pennies to feed their families. And y'all talking about government shutdown and all these people. You think these people gonna work for free? No. This has always been the plan. Let me tell y'all what is getting ready to happen. I told y'all before, when I first heard it, I said, oh, this is very intentional and it's going to be longer than not. It's going to be longer than normal. There is certain people in place, if you know what I mean, catch it. The principal is in place to do exactly what he is doing. He's called to this thing. He is called to do exactly what he's doing. He is literally setting the stage for the Babylon and the economic system to collapse. It has to collapse. There has to be chaos. And this is what we are getting ready to see in this happening in this earth. Everybody think that this is political. Everybody think that this is something natural. No, it is spiritual. Whether you want to believe in God or not, he is real. He is very much so real. So now it's not just affecting the traffic controller jobs, but anybody who works at the airports, it is going to begin to affect them because so many flights are being canceled. It's going to affect the pilots. It's going to affect all the way through down the line, in which it will begin to affect our economy and other industries. Y'all think this man is setting order, but he's really setting chaos. And again, it's not have nothing to do with political. This is all spiritual, okay? Y'all think he's canceling all the corruption that was. Are you kidding me? The corruption is being added. He's just adding on to the list of the corruption. These people are not righteous. They are not righteous people. That's another thing that be blowing my mind. We're looking to these people as if they're righteous. You know them by the fruits that they bear. Chaos and confusion. That's what's being implemented. That is the fruit of this. Chaos and confusion.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. Some of the white Americans are furious by the fact that tourists are no longer showing up in their airports. They used to benefit a lot from foreign policies. They used to benefit a lot when tourists were coming in, when people from different countries will trade with them. But they are concerned with the fact that a lot of American airports are now empty. No one is showing up. What really happened? Most of them voted for whatever they considered making America great again. And with this, it means that America was going to be one of the busiest countries in the world, where airports will be running 24/7, where visitors and people, entrepreneurs, investors will be flocking in the country. But That's not whatever is happening. Now, something has changed, and this is not whatever most of the Americans expected, more so the white counterparts. Now, the Donald Trump administration has issued travel bans and visa restrictions to many other countries. You remember when he came out, the president came out and gave a whole list of countries that had restrictions from getting into the US. Now, this means that for you to go to the US, you had to pay extra fees. You had to pay for your travel. For you to get a visa or for your visa to be processed to the US, you must pay some cash or some amount to the US government or to the US embassies. Now, this has reduced the number of people who are going to the US by the fact that there are so many bans on so many countries from Africa and the Middle East. These are some of the dominant figures or the dominant travelers to the US. Most of them go there for vacations. Most of them go there for jobs. Most of them go there for business purposes, to hold up their meetings, government meetings, and all sorts of kinds of things that might happen. But with this case, it is not happening. The government came out with policies and travel bans that has affected a lot of them. Now, they are considering going to countries like China and Russia instead of going to the US. Most of the people are now pissed off. They are furious. They are feeling like the government is betraying them. This is their whole life. They have been doing this for a whole, like, some of them work in their airports. Some of them have been tour guides. Some of them have been depending on this as a source of living. Why is the government frustrating them at this moment? Most of them voted to make or to see America become a greater country. This means busy airports, and this means their international relations will be good. Their foreign policies will be good with other countries. That it was going to put America on the global map as the indomitable key factor in the world. That no one should come near the dominance of the United States. But that's not whatever is happening. Now, there are so many other reasons that are contributing to this. We have strained reasons with key global allies, which has discouraged international business travel. The US is now having so many sanctions, not sanctions, but tariffs on bigger countries like countries from Europe, countries in the Middle East, countries in Asia, and countries like China. These are some of the countries that have proven with time they are very key in doing business with the US. And most of the investors and most of the companies in the US are actually from China, Japan. And these are some of the countries that are actually receiving some strained relations with the United States, that the United States has been hitting them with tariffs left, right, and center. And in return, they have been retaliating. They have also been hitting the US with tariffs. When they say at least a war that involves a gun than a war that involves the economy, because that is affecting everyone. When you are having or when you are going into an economic war like the one the US has with so many countries at the moment, the countries in which they have been giving sanctions and tariffs, it means they are going to be reduced business engagement in your country. Most of the companies will withdraw from working with you, and they are going to set up these companies in other countries that they have some good relations with. This actually means that you are not going to enjoy some of the things that you used to enjoy. Some of the people are going to lose their jobs. Some of the people are going to lose their livelihood. Some of the children are going to the street because their parents can no longer afford whatever they used to afford because they are now sacked or the companies have been moved elsewhere. You need to understand the dynamics of economy before going to vote in a given way. I'm not here to tell anyone on how to vote, but before you vote, you must evaluate the policies that you're going to vote in. You might vote in policies that are going to affect you. And in this case, you're going to lose a lot. And most of the people do not evaluate policies. They just read the policies and take them literally and go to the ballot box to vote. This is whatever has been affecting the world for a very long time. We need to control our emotions at the ballot. We need to control how we view things and how we evaluate people. Some of the times, or not all the times, but some of the times you will get people going to vote not because the candidate is good, but because they are against the other candidate, or they are against the people who support the other candidate. In this case, you all end up voting not the right person, but the bad policies that you never wanted. We have trade wars that I've been talking about, and these trade wars are weakening economic ties with most of the countries. Now, this is causing a decline in global conferences, cargo flights, and business trips. When you're having economic wars, and when you're having trade wars with most of the countries that you've been doing business with, they are going to withdraw their support. They are going to withdraw their travel to your country to hold conferences. You won't be seeing cargo coming into your country because they will now find other business partners to do this with. This is whatever is happening to the US, and this is whatever is affecting the US economy. Most of the farmers are now suffering because China is no longer taking soybeans from the US. Most of the people in the US are suffering because Japan is considering to withdraw their companies, including the Hyundai plants in the US, to other countries. This will lead to loss of jobs. This will lead to your airports being empty. No one is showing up to your country because, one, you are very strict. You have derailed foreign policies. You have everything that was working, not working at the moment. When all these things are happening, you're going to have a problem. There is an economic decline and reduced domestic travel in the US. Now, under Trump's policies, we've had so many people in the US, so many of them, crying about the state of the economy in the US, that the tariffs are affecting them, that the trade was affecting them. They cannot travel for business. They cannot do the usuals that they used to do. Failed policies only means your country is doing worse or is doing bad. Now, this is is making fewer people to afford vacations or even travel on basic travels, and businesses cut travel budgets due to economic uncertainty, and airline companies reduce flight due to lower demand. That when people are not traveling that much, the airlines are now reducing the flights that they used to do to other states or to other countries because people are not traveling. If they schedule flights for these countries or to these states, they're only going to make a loss. Why should you fly an aeroplane with barely 10 people in it? That's making a loss. So most of them are choosing not to operate on some of the routes because they're feeling like they're going to make loss. This is bringing isolation to the US because most of the people are choosing to travel to the US because of the damaged global connections the US is now having with so many other countries. And now global students are now choosing Canada, the UK, and Australia instead of the US because most of the people who used to come from Japan, Asia, Middle East, and Africa, and there is now strict measures to get into the US, they will now go to further their studies in Canada, Australia, UK, and and some of other countries that will offer the same instead of the US, this is reducing the number of people who are getting into the US territory or into the US airports. And tourists from Asia, Africa, and Europe are now stopping to come into the US in large numbers because of the policies that are in the US right now. Let me know whatever you think of this video and so many other things that are happening in the US. Have a good day, and thank you so much for having taken your time to watch this video. Please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking if at all you agree with whatever this video entails. Thank you so much.